Alice, she's taking on an issue that is at the heart of the development process in many parts of the world. It's not just Kenya.
It's a very lonely field for women mediators of armed conflict. It's lonely in the sense that peacemaking is not seen to be women's business.
So you then imagine where you have a woman rubbing shoulders with the best and greatest in Kenya in terms of the work that she does. You just know it never came easy. She's had to overcome odds.
We had our elections in 2007. It was heavily contested. The losers did not accept defeat. The ethnic communities affiliated to the political parties took to the streets, and there was bad violence.
So nobody expected this degree of violence in Kenya. It was an all-out ethnic war. About 1,200 people were killed in violence across the country. More than 500,000 displaced. And what was so frightening about this was that they knew the perpetrators. The perpetrators were neighbors. The perpetrators were friends. And Kenyans woke up to the reality that you can't take peace and stability for granted.
Why should people be killed because of an election? We didn't see the reason why. And that is why we ourselves decided that we should help to restore peace.
For us, it became necessary to try a dialogue process. Alice's role was a mediator. She conceptualized the dialogue process. She was able to identify the community groups to bring on board. She was able also to bring them to a safe space where they could feel comfortable enough to make concessions, have a compromise. And she was able to help them also come up with an agreement which would help in ensuring that in the future, they didn't have a similar scenario like we did in 2007.
People come with the ego. People come pretending they don't want to talk. People come pretending that, we are macho, we can still beat those guys, we can flatten them, who do they think they are? Or they want to talk to us, we don't want to talk to them. But after they present their position papers, you begin to chip away at the edges of their ego, and you begin to really getting that feeling that everyone is sick and tired of the violence.
Alice is, I think, a really consummate facilitator. Alice has a capacity to get people who are in extreme situations of conflict and mistrust to trust her and to take risks, to try and find new solutions, even when those are risky to themselves. The peace agreements that Alice facilitated in Nakuru, in Plateau, and Kaduna states in Nigeria are in themselves experiments in pluralism. They're affirmations that a pluralist agenda is what these communities want going forward, and they're committing themselves to pluralism through the agreements that Alice has drafted.
She has a drive to continue doing it irrespective of the challenges, largely because I think she believes in people, even when people don't believe in themselves. She wants to see a different kind of Africa, even when we are not convinced that we'll ever see a different kind of Africa.
Alice is a perennial optimist. So even in the midst of the most difficult challenges, that smile never leaves her face, and I'm sure you've noticed. And what it does is it gives hope, because sometimes problems look insurmountable.
A lot of the work that happens in these incredibly complicated and difficult sorts of processes is often invisible and doesn't get recognized for the extraordinary difficulties and risks that Alice has faced when she's taken controversial decisions to, as I said, reach out to people who are against a pluralist agenda and convince them that they need to come in.
The one thing she never forgets is bringing the inclusion agenda to the table. the Nakuru peace process where she was an only woman, and seeing how she struggled even bringing women to the table, it's something that she wants to see change.
And it sets an example also for young women simply to be leaders, which I think is also a really important message, not just for the younger generation, but for men to understand that women can be at the forefront of helping to solve these problems.
I always tell people, you know something? It's okay. It's okay to be who you are. When you come to this table, don't apologize for your religion. Don't apologize for your ethnic community. Don't apologize for what they've done or what they think of, for their stereotypes, for their biases, because all of us have biases and stereotypes. We grow up with them. It's what you do with them that then becomes the problem. We can never allow what divides us to build into biases and stereotypes that then translate into violence. I tell them, guess what? We are going nowhere. You can keep fighting and fighting. We are going to be here until one day you'll tell us, but why are you still here? We don't need you. We have peace now. And I told them, and that day will come, and I believe in it, and you must believe in it as well.
We need the Alice's and Nderitus of this world to help broker this new understanding that give young people a sense that I am included, that this space is for all of us, not for the old and the politically connected, that I can invest in my society and find fulfillment. That's the diversity. That's the inclusion. That's the social contract, a new understanding between the state and those it governs, as using the peaceful methods of conflict prevention, of amicable settlement, so that we can envision together a new society.
Alice Nderitu will now be presented with the Global Pluralism Award. Le prix mondial de pluralisme sera maintenant remis à Alice Nderitu.
Thank you very much, Your Highness. Thank you very much, Your Honor. Thank you very much to the jury, the Global Pluralism Award team. Thank you very, very much. And for me to stand here, to even be considered for an award of this stature, a Global Pluralism Award, is a really incredible honor. I sincerely thank the Global Center for Pluralism, the jury, and all the people who've worked so hard to bring us here, whom I cannot mention individually. Thank you very much. You know, for a long time, I knew that I got sustainable results in solving ethnic and religious conflicts because of accepting people's culture, not seeking to dilute their identities, ensuring inclusion, and building on commonalities to complement the beauty in their differences. I did not know what to call this approach. All I knew was that it worked. I now know it's called pluralism. This is, of course, thanks to the two organizations that nominated me, the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue HD, through Meredith Preston McGee, who you saw speaking on the screen, and Inclusive Security through Jacqueline O'Neill. Jackie is here with her husband, Peter, representing my family. She came all the way, she flew all the way. We worked with both of them, with both Meredith and Jackie in Africa. So thank you, Jackie. I'm especially grateful to the people whose support has contributed in a large measure to make it possible for me to receive this award. And I know they are watching. They stayed up late to watch. They include, from the processes I have mediated in Kenya, my former National Cohesion and Integration colleagues, the elders in Nakuru. From Nigeria, the governors of Plateau and Kaduna states, Barrister Simon Bakol Along and Malam Nasir El Rufai. And then the team I work with, that really great team that I work with in Nigeria, the HD Middle Belt team, and the communities of the peace agreements that I have brokered in Nigeria, that is the 29 ethnic communities of Kaduna and the 56 ethnic communities of Southern Plateau. I would like to tell you that our work is far from over, yet what we have been able to do together has changed the lives of millions of people in the Rift Valley of Kenya and Plateau and Kaduna states of Nigeria. I reserve some special thanks for HD's director, David Harland, for his support, and my HD colleague, Caroline Nyaga, she spoke a lot also on the video, for her support and hard work. I thank my family, I also thank my family, my parents, Vincent Nyinge Nderitu and my mother, Mweru Nderitu, Ben Akwete, and my siblings, all 10 of them. I have 10 siblings. And especially my son, Mark Nderitu, who has had to bear with my long absences from home. Somebody in the video said that I'm extremely optimistic, and I am. I hadn't watched it before, but I didn't know that I was that transparent. I'm an extremely optimistic person. So I want to share some of that optimism with you this evening. I'm extremely optimistic that in a few years' time, references to women such as myself as the only woman mediating at the peace table, particularly as regards armed conflict, will become obsolete. I will. Since I'm privileged to stand here and to receive this award, I promise that I will do my bit, working to ensure that this happens by paying attention to exclusions, creating role models, and working to end structural inequities. Having more women mediating at the peace table will increase pluralism through inclusion, increase sustainability of peace agreements, broaden issues and solutions, increase dialogue, and inspire the next generation of pluralists. To begin the dream in achieving this, the award money given to me will go towards setting up a team of women mediators of armed conflict across the African continent. Once again, I sincerely thank the Global Center for Pluralism for this unique honor. In spite of the challenges ahead, I remain very optimistic about my country, Kenya, the country I work in, Nigeria, my continent, Africa, and its opportunities for pluralism. In Kiswahili, we say, penye nia pana njia. Where there is a will, there is a way. And there is a will and there is a way in pluralism. Of that, I'm very sure. So this Global Pluralism Award has given me a mountaintop. Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm standing on top of the highest mountain in Africa right now. And from this mountaintop, I will shout out my optimism and create opportunities for both men and women. I will shout it out and do so to the best of my ability. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana, sana, sana.